The truth is, school was never about teaching you how to live. It was about training you to sit still, raise your hand to speak, stand up when the bell rings, and repeat what you were told, without ever asking why. School is the first stage of human domestication, a place where strong personality is called a behavior problem, creativity is labeled distraction, and critical thinking, that's just rebellion. You didn't notice, but they shaped you like a product on an assembly line. They taught you how to memorize formulas, walk in a straight line, and ask for permission to use the bathroom. That wasn't a flaw. That was the design. A system that needs predictable, obedient, moldable people. People who follow orders without questioning. People who accept the world as it is, not imagining what it could be. And no, this isn't a conspiracy theory. It's history. The modern school system you grew up in was based on the 19th century Prussian model, built not to raise leaders or creators, but soldiers and factory workers, disciplined people who don't think too much and follow commands. That's why we have bells, rows, grades, and rigid structure. School was designed to prepare you for the assembly line, not for life. While you were learning how to solve quadratic equations, no one taught you how to read a lease, deal with anxiety, or understand why your paycheck never covers your life. They taught you mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cell, but never taught you what to do when your bank account hits zero. That's not the system failing. That's the system doing exactly what it was built to do. Send you into adulthood, lost, anxious, in debt, ready to accept any job, any wage, any life. School didn't teach you how to think. It taught you how to remember. Because thinkers challenge, but repeaters obey. And that's what the system needs. People who clock in, stay small, fear mistakes, and ask for permission just to be themselves. That's why the perfect student often becomes the most frustrated adult, because they played by the rules, but the game was rigged. Maybe you never really chose anything. Maybe the beliefs you hold, the dreams you chase, they weren't yours. They were programmed. You hustle, you grind, you push forward. But for goals planted in your mind by school, parents, media, society, long before you even knew what life was, they taught you to crave stability, not freedom, acceptance, not authenticity. But there comes a moment when your soul starts to scream. You feel it. Something's off. I'm sabotaging myself. I'm stuck on autopilot. I'm betraying who I am. And that's where real life begins. When you stop repeating the script and start writing a new one. The pain of unlearning everything you were taught is real. But nothing hurts more than spending your whole life pretending you're fine. You feel that void, that anxiety, that nameless anger. It's not depression. It's your real self trying to wake up. Deep down, you weren't born to be a cog. You were born to be whole, and maybe school trained you to obey, but it never fully killed your essence. It just put it to sleep. Now it's your job to wake it back up, because if you don't take control, you'll spend your entire life calling destiny what was really just obedience, dressed as normal life. In the end, school taught you how to memorize formulas, but not how to create a life. It taught you to raise your hand, but not your voice. To solve equations, but not to solve the cost of living a life that drains your soul. They trained you to pass tests, but not to survive real crises. The truth is, school didn't fail. It succeeded. It was never built to free minds. It was built to manufacture workers, to standardize. Because people who question too much are a threat. People who think for themselves break the system. So no, the problem isn't you. The problem is that you finally woke up, and now what do you do with that diploma? Burn it, symbolically or literally, because the life you want to build doesn't live on paper. It lives in your next decision. And if someone ever asks what college you went to, tell them this: the one the system doesn't offer, real life. With one final lesson: true freedom begins the moment you start unlearning what they taught you to believe. And if this video broke something inside you, good. That means something real is waking up. Send it to that friend who still thinks school prepares you for life. And if you made it this far, you've probably learned more than years of sitting in a classroom. So do yourself a favor. Hit subscribe before some teacher comes along to correct your new way of thinking.